Hi. Just when you thought that you'd heard of every possible addiction in the world, from alcoholism, rageaholism, cocaine addiction, sex and love addiction, overeating addiction, shopaholism and debting and gambling and all the rest of it. Here's one maybe you haven't heard of. It's addiction to flirtation. And based on what I'm hearing from a lot of you out there, some of you who have already subscribed to my channel, Beverly Banov Brown MS, if you haven't already, I encourage you to. I would love to be able to share with you. Anyway, here is another addiction. And it affects many, many people who have met online, in many cases, and have reached a point with their new prospective mate or partner where they've said to you, let's not see anybody else. Let's get off the dating sites. Let's really see what we can do here. Let's explore the possibilities. Maybe they've talked to you about engagement. Maybe they've talked to you about living together if you're not already, and marriage eventually. Yet you find out that you've gone off all the dating sites and kept your end of the bargain very happily because you're enthralled with this new relationship, or maybe not so new, and your would-be partner is still on Match.com, is still changing the pictures and writing new profiles and exploring the possibilities by meeting other people. What to do? And where does addiction to flirtation come into the picture? What is going on? Well, part of what I believe is going on is that narcissistic personalities who are along the spectrum of narcissists and the crazy makers whose unpredictable lack of empathy and unreliability and almost inability in many cases to follow through on offers, on promises. It's all related to addiction to flirtation. I keep wanting to say addiction to perfection, and it's not really that, but there is a certain perfectionistic thing going on in many cases where they feel like maybe they haven't quite gotten it right. Maybe you're wonderful, but there's somebody even better out there. So addiction to perfection and addiction to flirtation can kind of go hand in hand, because in narcissism, there is often an inflated sense of their own attractiveness. There's an inflated sense of their own worthiness, which is not real. It's a cover-up for rampant insecurity deep inside of them. And there's also a sense of entitlement, like a double standard. Like, you can keep your end of the bargain, but they don't have to, because they're them. Oh my goodness. What a sticky wicket. What a conundrum one can find oneself in if you actually are one of those people who keep your word, who make an agreement and mean it, and have the staying power to follow through on it, like getting off the dating sites, like not going to parties or dances, trying to meet other people, etc., etc., etc. How do you handle this? Let's come up with 3 golden nuggets for today I'd love to share with you based on my 3+ decades as an intuitive, as a professional life and relationship and love coach. Golden nugget number 1, from my heart to your heart. Take a deep breath and realize that you're dealing with someone, most likely, for whom it is very difficult to let go of attention, to let go of adulation. Someone who is terrified that you're going to die, change your mind, or leave him, which brings up the possibility of abandonment or betrayal. And this often triggers great terror and great fear in the narcissistic drama king, drama queen, crazy maker personality. So the last thing they really want to do, or feel able to comfortably do sometimes, is to give up that possibility that the dating sites create an illusion of very strongly for many people, that they're going to have numerous people interested in them, and that beautiful rush that they love so much, what I call the battery charger, that's always kind of hanging around in the background of their lives as long as they're on those dating sites. So, what to do? After you've taken the deep breath, meditate and reflect on how you want to handle this. How important is monogamy to you? How important is integrity to you? And do you have a belief that perhaps the person isn't ready, and that if you can just love them through it and be unconditionally accepting, they're going to wake up one morning and say, I've already got the most extraordinary partner in the world. Why would I want to be duping other people into believing I'm not already taken and that my dance card's not already filled with her? And why would I want to be looking elsewhere when I already have the golden prize? Next golden nugget. I believe if you are believing all of that, you might be in the throes of wearing rose-colored glasses. Rose-colored glasses that allow you to see only what you want to see and rationalize away all the realities of what's involved with somebody who lies. Isn't it really very obvious, very simple, and yet very unpleasant, because they have so much charm? Often they're very sexy, sometimes they're great lovers, because they're attuned to meeting your needs. But the follow-through, again, that's what you have to consider. If someone is addicted to flirtation, even if they don't take it further, even if they don't dupe the other single person into believing that they're available when they're not, there still is an addiction, active addiction going on. And it's an addiction that is born of their lack of sense of self. What happens when you live with someone who doesn't really know who they are? What happens when you deal with someone who's in active addiction? Addiction kills in one way or another. It kills relationships, it kills careers, it kills health. It's an indication that some inner work needs to be done to come to peace, to come to center, to return to some sort of balance in your life, no matter what it is. So some people would say, oh, it's no big deal. It's just a period of adjustment. He can't make this commitment yet, even though he said he would, because he's just not ready. He's a little bit immature emotionally. And then the rose-colored glasses, here we are. You say, oh, well, but it doesn't really matter anyway because he's not doing anything. I mean, he's not meeting anybody, is he? How do you know he's not meeting anybody? Rose-colored glasses time. Red flag, huge red flag, flapping right in front of your face. People, you have hearts to protect. You have other people out there where you don't have to wear rose-colored glasses because they're healthy emotionally, and if they're not, they do the inner work. They go find a great life coach, they go and they pray, they go to the 12 steps, and they deal with it. They deal with themselves. And if they don't, then how reasonable is it to assume that you're going to have a good life with someone who lies to you? Someone who is devious. What does their word really mean? You're the only one who can answer that. So the last golden nugget I want to leave you with today is look at the mirror and see yourself and talk to yourself, looking straight in your own eyes, and remind yourself that you, A, 1, know who you are, B, do not need another relationship in order to have a happy life. 3, you are worth, if you're going to have a relationship, having someone who is secure enough in themselves that they don't need to be addicted to the possible compliments of other people. Because they know their own value, they know their own worth, and if they forget it, they are honest enough to take responsibility and get help. There is so much hope available these days. There's really no longer any excuse for people to say, with all the great self-help books and all the videos and all of the great life coaches and love mentors out there, that they have to go through all this stuff. You don't have to go through it alone, and they don't either. And if they tell you that they do, then you've got yet another red flag that they're not really ready to have a mutually loving, committed relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that is off-center about it is if there's lying involved. Please protect your heart. You're worth more than this. Something to think about, something to reflect on, and in the privacy of your own life, something to consider. No matter how charming someone is, if you lack respect for them because they're liars, do you really believe that over time you're going to be able to have a happy, stable life together? Only you can answer the question. I hope this information has helped you. You're in my very loving prayers. Until next time, I'm Beverly Banov Brown. Namaste. I bow to the light that you are. Bye for now.